Well, if you like to do a bit of cycling, a bit of running, or even a nice walk, then we have something that's just for you. It can be rather tiring activities, but it is definitely worth it when you're doing something to raise money for a good cause. Tony and Ruth Knowles have organised all three, and it's for Sunday the 24th of July, so get your diaries out and start checking now. They want your help to raise money for a bladder scanner for Hull Royal Infirmary. Now, they lost their daughter, Emma-Jayne, to a brain tumour in 1998, aged just 22. Now, Emma-Jayne was born in Louth and she received excellent care at the infirmary. And Ruth, I'm delighted to say, joins me on the line this afternoon. And Ruth, just tell me a little bit about Emma-Jayne first. What type of character was she?
Emma-Jayne was a very lively character. She was always very, very hard-working. She went to Sutton-on-Sea Primary School, then Tennyson School, and on to Boston College. And she trained to be a chef. But she wasn't happy with that. She wanted to go and be a post lady. And she loved her job, and she was hoping to go into the managerial side of the post office. But unfortunately, in April 1998, she was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumour, and unfortunately, she lost her life in December, 6 days before Christmas, and dead on 2 weeks before her 23rd birthday.
Oh, and when did you know that something was wrong? When did she first suspect something wasn't quite right?
She suspected it beginning of March. She kept saying that her hands were very, very cold. And her dad used to say, well, get some gloves on. You're on your bike, and you want to get some gloves on. And then she was finding that she'd got double vision and she couldn't see very well. So I'm afraid, we said, well, she'll have to go to the doctors. And they sent her through to Grimsby Hospital to have a scan. And then it was confirmed that, yes, it was a brain tumour. And we took her over to Hull Royal Infirmary. Actually, it was the Good Friday that we took her over.
It must have been a shock, because a lot of people would think, well, the hands are cold. They think maybe a bit of bad circulation. Maybe they're going to tell me that. How long was it before you realised how serious it was?
It was about 6 weeks, because I think they knew, obviously, the doctors and the specialists. They're used to all these things these days, and it wasn't very long at all. But as I say, unfortunately, it was inoperable. Her brain tumour was so deep that they couldn't operate, and it was a very, very rare brain tumour as well. She got a brain tumour of 1 in 1.5 million.
That's incredible, isn't it? And how did Emma-Jayne react to it all? How was she?
She was absolutely devastated, as you can well imagine, like we were as well. And we was hoping that, radiotherapy would help, but obviously it didn't. So, we tried everything that we possibly could, but I'm afraid it was all in vain.
Well, in her name, you've done some incredible fundraising, over £150,000. Is that been a way for you and for Tony, not to just sort of honour Emma, but also to help you through it as well?
Yes, exactly. I think if we hadn't have done something like this, I think we'd have both jumped off the Humber Bridge. But the reason why we did start this, Emma-Jayne was under the consultant, Mr. Kevin Morris, neurosurgeon at Hull Royal Infirmary, and he was absolutely wonderful. So were all the nurses, even down to the tea ladies. They were absolutely fantastic. People knock the NHS these days, but there are some brilliant people about. And it was just a kind of way to say thank you for everything that they'd possibly done. And when Emma-Jayne died, we didn't have any flowers at her funeral, because she didn't like flowers anyway. It's unusual for ladies not to like flowers, but she didn't.
I was going to say, she sounds a terrific character, I must say.
Yes, she was. So we asked for donations, and we raised £1,500, and we split this between Dr. Irene Carter, who was Emma-Jayne's GP, and the other went to Hull Royal Infirmary. So after a while, Tony and I did pluck up the courage to go back to Hull Royal Infirmary and take this money. And we spoke to Mr. Kevin Morris, and he was saying to us that they were trying to raise £12,000 to buy a spinal turning bed, and which saved the work of 8 nurses. And I looked at him, and Tony looked at him, and we looked at each other, and I said, "Oh, crikey." I said, "We've never done anything like this before," but I said, "Go on then." I said, "We'll have a go." And by the year 2000, we had a huge charity evening here in Sutton-on-Sea, and Mr. Kevin Morris and his wife came over, and we announced that we'd got the 12,000. In fact, we got £12,000, £12,001. So that is how it all started.
Incredible. And I mentioned that this time around you're raising money for a bladder scanner for the Hull Royal Infirmary.
That's right.
Sunday the 24th of July. Now explain the event, because it's a combination of cycling, running and walking.
That's right. Well, it first started, we had a bikeathon, which this is the 17th year, from the Royal Oak at Little Cawthorpe near Louth, which obviously is a beautiful venue. And as things progressed, people kept saying to us, "Oh, I can't ride a bike." So I said to Tony one year, I said, "Right, I'll sort this out." So I said, "Right, we'll do a walk." So a walk we did, and that was very, very popular. And then 3 years ago, we decided, or should I say, I decided, that we would do a 10K run as well, and that has proved to be popular as well.
And now it's the 30K Bikeathon. It's fantastic. If people want to find out about this, Ruth, if they want to take part in this on the 24th of July, you have a website, do you?
Yes, we do have a website, and the website is www.Emma-Jayne, but it's Jayne, memorialfund.co.uk.
Wonderful. And we've also have your phone number as well, Ruth. So if anybody doesn't have access, because I know a lot of people don't have access to internet, we have got Ruth's number. We'll keep that here. So if you want to get in touch with us on 01522 511 219, we will put you in touch with Ruth as well. Very best of luck. It's how much is it? £7,000 that you?
It is £7,000.
Hoping to raise.
Yes, and also can I just say that there is a barbecue after, and we have a large raffle and also a large tombola. But even if anybody can't participate, it would be lovely, just for a little bit of moral support. Also, at the same time, we have got Mr. Shatur Rajaman coming over, who is now the neurosurgeon that looks after the fund, and he will be there to start the cyclists, the runners and the walkers off.
Brilliant. Well, Ruth, I wish you the very best of luck with that.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. That is Ruth Knowles there. And so that event is on Sunday, the 24th of July. We do have Ruth's number, so if you haven't had time to note all the details of the website down, then do give us a call and we will put you in touch with Ruth.